was those who knew him better than me, they've all said that he never had nothing negative to say about anybody. He was a very gentle one of the most gentle men I've ever known. Very peaceful kind of a person. It's the irony is when he picked up that horn, you wouldn't think that.
Well, I think actually that this music, what Coltrane is doing, it's like, I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, to play his music like this every day, I don't think no other artist that I can think of ever had this much time on the radio to be able to run down his whole musical career at once like this. This is some incredible stuff. I mean, stuff like this doesn't happen every day. And I can't think of
nobody.
It can
only happen in New York.
And I can't think of nobody who could do it better than Coltrane, actually, because he covered so much ground in this music. I mean, like from say when he became prominent, known, like when he got with the Miles Davis Orchestra. I'm not talking about before what he did in Philly in the 40s and stuff. I'm talking about like from 55 to 67. So much. I mean, the music changed so much. I mean, coming from Train, you got people playing Coltrane, and when he was working with Miles Davis, you got people playing Coltrane when he had his own band together. You got people playing with Coltrane when he embraced avant-garde. You got musicians playing different segments of John Coltrane, and he did all this. He did all this from 55 to 67, like 12 years. I mean, that's almost incredible. I mean, when you think about it like that, he made the move. He came from where he was until where he got to be in 12 years, and he took so much music with him, and he played with so many people. He played with just about every saxophone player. He made a record with them. He from Cannonball Adderley to Sonny Rollins and Paul Clinchet, Coleman, not Ornette Coleman, but the old man.
Did he record with Earl Bostic?
Coleman Hawkins. And I knew he played with Earl Bostic.
He played in his band.
So I mean, he played with Wes McCoy. He played with everybody. At one point, everybody wanted John Coltrane on their record, you know? And so when you meet a person like that, when you see a person like that can go from one thing to another move convincingly. I mean, not only go, but a lot of people will go with him, man. He single-handedly brought avant-garde alive in the music, and he was playing this stuff all the time. I mean, he just made the transition. And
well, if you don't mind me asking, how did you feel that taking place? You had worked with a lot of people in New York, you know, Marion Brown and Bill Dixon, and you know, people who were important in the avant-garde community.
Yeah.
And then Train, you know, he started to embrace that sound, and he took a lot of younger players with him, you know.
Yeah.
And you were part of that. And so, what did that mean to you? You know, how did that affect your relationship with, you know, the music in New York and with?
Well, actually, it enhanced it because just playing. I mean, I came up in Philadelphia, man. So I started playing everything from rhythm and blues to whatever I could play at that point, and jazz was my main thing. But I had, you know, I played a lot of different kinds of music, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing funk. I enjoyed playing backbeats. I enjoyed that stuff. But John Coltrane, man, he sort of just embraced the music. I mean, he was playing. My personal thoughts on the matter is, after a while, I mean, you can play, I don't want to sound stereo and name things, but you can play bebop or whatever it is that you want to play forever if you want to. But John Coltrane wasn't satisfied with just playing one thing forever. So, I mean, like, he was like the kind of person who always wanted to do something else, pursuance, trying to find some other alley, something else to do with his music. And you can hear that even when his later records with Miles Davis, like those things he did like in Stockholm and stuff in the 60s and stuff, he was really playing way out of kilter on that stuff, And he was using just regular music to do it. He wasn't coming up with no new music. He was taking Blah Bye Blackbird and tunes like that and completely dissecting them, man, and turning them inside out and playing all around them and through them and through them. And the cats who were playing avant-garde was I would say they were influenced by that music. Everybody was influenced by his music. The beboppers, the cat who was playing free jazz, avant-garde, we all was influenced by this one guy. He had everybody. He had the beboppers, he had everybody. And so when he made the move to turn around, it was just like, you know, regular stuff for him. It wasn't no big deal, you know.
So for you, it wasn't like wasn't this big transition point. It was something that had been coming all along.
Evolution is something that just happens as you go, man. Because if you want to play anything different, or well, not different, but if you want to play anything more advanced, you have to go there. That's the one move you have to make, because I think the way they was playing in the 40s and the way Bird was playing and all that was doing, I think that was like a transition step. That was a step from that to this, just like everything else. Like Bird made a step from Pops to Bird, and from Bird to Train, and Train he just went on, you know. And I don't know where the next step would be. Maybe to be Rashied Ali. I don't know.
Yeah. But
it's definitely going that way. It has to go that way.
Yeah. Well, when we're talking to Rashied Ali and Sonny Fortune here on WKCR, I had asked you a little while ago something about playing with Miles and how the shadow of Coltrane was affected you. You know, I mean, I think that anyone who would be playing with Miles after Train had played with Miles would have to, I don't know, I guess be aware of it, and I'm sure it affected you personally in a lot of ways. Could you talk a little bit about that, Sonny Fortune?
Well. Certainly by the time I started working with Miles, I knew who had worked with him. I had seen Train before Cannonball, during Cannonball, and after Cannonball. And all the other guys, Wayne Shorter, George Coleman, Sam Rivers, Hank Mobley. I mean, every time Miles came to town, I mean, those two bands, the Train band and the Miles band, probably are my strongest influence. So by the time I started working with Miles, yes, I was well aware of Coltrane had worked there, and I also was aware of how Miles felt about Train. I remember reading an article, this must have been around in 56, where Bird had just died, and they were talking about the next Charlie Parker, and so they kind of interviewed a couple of people, and they kind of gave their comments. But when they got around to Miles said the next Charlie Parker was going to be John Coltrane. Well, at that time, Train hadn't made the impression that he later in life had made. So, I knew Miles had the visionary mind